Commodity TV here from the new Rohstoffmesse Commodity Conference here in Munich. Day number 2, our first interview, and we want to now dive into the gold sector. And with me here is CEO Christopher Berlet from Stakeholder Gold. Christopher, welcome to Munich.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you?
Well, very well, thank you.
How's the show so far?
Good. Not quite the attendance, but very good. Very good.
Maybe
some great people.
Today is a better day because
it was Oktoberfest.
It was Oktoberfest.
A lot of
we had
partying.
our national day, and it was great weather. Now the weather is not so good, so maybe.
I noticed the Hofbräuhaus was quite full last night, so
everything is quite full at the Oktoberfest. Okay, Christopher, Stakeholder Gold. You already have a small mine in Brazil, not a gold mine, but it brings you some great revenues, and you want to expand this to 3 or more mines. Could you give us an insight into this?
Yeah, it's a quartzite business. It's used for building materials, kitchens, bathrooms. We started with one quarry in 2022. And we opened 2 more quarries this year. It's been very profitable. First year was very profitable indeed. It slowed down a bit for 23, started to come back quite strongly last year. And we opened 2 new quarries this year. So our aspiration there is to have 10 operating quarries making about $1 million US profit per year per quarry. That's our objective.
Okay, so 12 million per month, per year. Altogether?
10 maybe, yeah.
10, right. Okay. So that brings you a lot of money in for drilling at your flagship project, which is in the Yukon.
Yes.
Berlet Gold Copper Project. Please give us an insight in this project.
So that's an example. Exploration is expensive, and financing exploration is a real challenge. And that jurisdiction, you can operate for about 8 months during exploration. It gets too cold in the winter, so and it's expensive. You have to fly you have to use helicopters, bring your drills in when there's no roads and stuff like that. So, you have to find a way of financing your company, at least for the months when you're not able to do your work. And the targets are big. The gold targets, the copper targets, the exploration potential, the development potential of the Yukon is fantastic. And but it's expensive work for a junior exploration company. You have to find a way to pay your bills. It costs $250,000 a year to run a public company. That's your audit, your listing fees, and administration, without doing much in the way of exploration. So the objective of that quartzite business initially was to address that dilution issue, that financing issue for exploration.
Okay. So what has already been achieved at this project?
Started 1896 with the Klondike gold rush. They've taken anywhere between 16 and 20 million ounces of gold out of the Yukon River and the tributaries to it. So in the early part of this century, they started to look for, Sean Ryan in particular, the source deposits that were creating that placer gold. And he was very successful in that endeavor. During the staking, most of it got staked, the white gold area, in 2006. And at that time frame, he really only had one competitor, a geologist named Mark Fekete. And we acquired the company that has the ground that Mark Fekete staked, which is in the center of the white gold district, surrounding Ballarat Creek. That's how we end up with it. And there's been, just recently, there's been a significant development with the coffee project. In 2016, that was sold to Goldcorp. They bought it $520 million. There's 5 million ounces, about 3 million in the reserve category that they're looking to develop into the heap leach mine. And against 5 million ounces, they were paying about $100 an ounce in the ground. That was recently acquired by Fuerte Metals, a company supported by Pierre Lassonde. If you look at the price chart for that stock, it's done very, very well since acquisition in mid-September. The other one is Western Copper and Gold that's there, and you have White Gold, which is probably the biggest landholder with multiple targets in the white gold area. And so we're in the center of that kind of area. We have 17 kilometers of the Northern Gateway Road planned to be built through our ground, and we have what looks like the potential for 2 discoveries on either side of that road, one for gold on the west side and one for copper on the east side, separated by about 8 kilometers. And our aspiration is that, in this area you find large deposits. Casino has 17 million ounces of gold, almost 8 billion pounds of copper contained. So, there's large. Coffee's 5 million. So there is potential for large deposit sizes in this jurisdiction. And we're looking at gold and copper respectively in these targets.
Okay. So you already have an income and your share structure is very tight, only 22 million shares out. Congratulations on that.
Fully diluted, yeah.
Fully diluted, yeah. Is this income enough for drilling, or do you need more? So what's money in the bank at the moment?
Yeah, 400,000 in the bank at the moment. The first drill program, 1,600 meters, maybe $1 million all in. The quarries should be making, could make around $2 to $3 million next year, or as we get there. This year, most of the money from the first quarry, which has been profitable since September of last year, went to starting the other two quarries that we started this year. So no, it's close, but it's good. It's a good, robust little cash flow against the requirements for what we have in the Yukon. Maybe, ideally, you don't want to operate a company with the too tight to the margin there. But 19.6 million shares, what we have out, fully diluted, which is our warrants at a significantly higher price, brings us to around 22 million shares. We're still a very tight capital structure in that, for what's in there.
So what can we await from Stakeholder Gold in the next, let's say, 12 to 15 months?
So in Brazil, we'll be announcing, further expansion and profitability growth. It's about 85% profit margins on those gross margins on the quarries that we're operating. So we're going to announce bringing on, the second two quarries we did this year. First sales of material to the UK, sales of material directly to Canada, cut and polished stones, which is a higher margin for us. So expansion of that business. But in the Yukon, we've finished our drill pads. There's 3 on the Sky Gold zone, and then 1 on the Loki Copper zone. We'll be drilling that as soon as possible in the spring. I think there's a marginal chance we can complete it this year, and most likely not. April of next year, we'll be on it drilling, and we're looking for 1.5 grams in the gold zone. Given the dimensions, the size that we see, almost 3.2 kilometers in strike in 2 subparallel zones, large structure, 25 meters wide. 1.5 grams would give us a very sizable potential target there.
Everything open pittable.
Yeah, open pittable.
Yeah.
Fairly good, actually, leach kinetics to this material. It's the comparable there is Golden Saddle, which is a white gold deposit. Has indicator minerals there were gold, molybdenum, tellurium. So that's the same case here, orthogneissic rock type, and that has probably the best recoveries for the deposits in the district is the Golden Saddle, White Gold's Golden Saddle. Now at 3 million ounces, increased by 44% this year. So this is that type of deposit. The dimensions are different a little bit in that there's 2 subparallel zones, and it's a little bit longer, a little bit, it seems. We'll see. VLF surveys wider. Question is great. 1.5 grams, and we have a very interesting potential there. And then on the copper, which is, like I say, about 8 kilometers southeast, pardon me, on the other side of the road is it's a large porphyry intrusion, 2.5 kilometers long, 800 meters wide. We're looking for 0.3%. Anything better, 0.3% or plus. And again, that's a copper porphyry intrusion. That seems similar to the Minto mine, which is east, which was up to 2%. So there's certainly that potential.
Okay. So Christopher, thank you very much for this insight in your company. All the best for next year, for all the plans. And we keep all fingers crossed that we get great drill results and more profit out of the quarries in Brazil.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, that was Christopher Berlet, the CEO of Stakeholder Gold. You heard it, profitable quarry in Brazil, and more to come. You want to expand it, and also drilling from spring on in the Yukon. So yeah, I would say check out the company, and bye-bye from Munich.